It's me, Renee. I'm back. And here, as you can see, I've got a tag. I found this tag on Instagram and I thought it looked nice. So, yes. It's quite a quick tag. It's kind of a tag where you just supposed to like name a tag. So, like, name a book that blah blah film like. So, yeah. Of course, I'm gonna link the original down below. Or try to find the original and the prompts. I know I don't always remember to do it straight away, but I'm gonna do it like soon. So first, name a book that gives you comfort. Honestly, it was a bit difficult this one because there's a lot of books that gives me comfort. I end up going with The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Read it last year, and it's kind of like a fall book, and it's soon fall. Or autumn, depending on who you are, which word you use. So yeah, I decided to use this book, and I've talked about it, but don't really like to talk about it lately. So yeah, so that's that one, and then I'm just gonna blah blah blah, and then the next prompt is a book that won't leave your mind. Again, a bit difficult, I would say, because yeah, there's a lot of books that kind of stays with me. And also, I kind of also don't want to talk about other books that I talked about recently. I kind of want to pick another book. Um, like the one that did this tag on Instagram or Bookstagram. She kind of tried to like pick books you didn't talk about at all. I'm not like I haven't followed her for a long time, so I don't know if it's books she talked about like last year or whatnot. But still, so this next one, it's a book I've talked about, but it's a book I haven't talked about recently. So yeah, in case you haven't been around here for before lately, then you haven't seen this book, for me at least. It is Margaret Mertz takes it down, which came out 2 years ago now, and honestly, it's still one of my all-time favorite books. Not one of my favorite books of 2021. One of my all-time favorite books. It is one of those books that are amazing that I have zero complaints about. It's just an amazing book. So yeah, you should definitely check it out if that's something for you. It gives you Veronica Mars vibes, slightly Moxie vibes as well, because it's feminism in high school. I suppose you kind of have to talk about Moxie. Well, you don't have to, but I suppose it's the most famous book. And yeah, very, very good book. And then we have, give me a little moment. Just gonna find notes again. A book from my favorite author. Again, I have a lot of favorite authors. So, and also a lot of favorite books from them. So, again, choosing a favorite author, kind of difficult, I would say, nowadays. Or choosing a favorite book. But I end up going with a book that I have not talked about in a little while. Do I have talked about this author? It is Written in the Stars by Alexandria Belfer. This is her first book ever. It's a sapphic romance. Sapphic, what's the word again? Sapphic adult romance. So it has steaminess, but it's also, yeah, honestly, he's another one of those authors where I feel like I have zero complaints. Like I like finding complaints in her books. It's like you have to look with a loop because like if you look just straight ahead and just kind of skim it or like just on the surface, you don't find any mistakes at all. And honestly, well, if I think about like small mistakes, like I don't like that side character's name or whatnot, there aren't really any of those either. So yeah, Alexandria Belfer. If you want a perfect adult romance series or offer, check out her. You need to check her out. And then we have a book, and this one I actually remember before looking at my notes, but yeah, a book that made you cry or made you sad. Okay, I'm not quite sure if it's made you cry or sad, it's one of those. And yeah, this is also a recent read. I read it back in like January, February, so it's not a book I've talked about lately. It is Feather and Flame by Olivia Blackburn. So this is a Mulan retelling, or I would say yeah, it's a Mulan sequel because it takes place after Mulan Disney movie, but and also it doesn't include all the Mulan aspects, but yeah, the major of them, yeah. And spoiler alert, but yeah, in this book she has to become empress, and it's not that easy being empress in patriarchy, especially patriarchy in ancient China. So yeah, it kind of made me sad about how masochistic and idiots people can be. So yeah, I would say that made me sad. And then we have a book that was recommended to you by a friend, and yeah, like sometimes I see like people on Bookstagram or people on YouTube who recommend books, but a lot of time they're books that are already on radar, so I'm not sure I could say they're recommended to me. I thought, how do you define recommend? Does it have to be the first person to recommend it to you? Uh, how do you define recommend? I'm kind of curious. Like, if you see it first in newspaper and then a friend recommends it, is it still a recommendation from your friend? Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. What do you think? I say, and people don't comment, but yeah, why not? Still, I decided to go a bit old school, so I'm going with Riesling by Kirsten Kasher. So this was recommended to me by a friend back in high school. So yeah, ages ago, in the Middle Ages. No, but yeah, a while ago because I haven't been in my high school for a while. But yeah, she was a friend in high school. I still have her on Facebook, but I kind of lost touch with her. But she did introduce me to Graceling, and I love this series. So yeah, I'm forever grateful for her for that. And yeah, so she did like she recommended to me one day in recess, and like when I went to the library, got it, and was not disappointed. So yeah, Graceling. And then the next prompt is a book that you blah blah blah. A book you want to read this year? Well, I have a lot of unread books, and like a book I want to read this year. I mean, often when people ask you like, oh, "What's a book that you want to read soon or read this year?" I'm like, all of them, because I'm a mood reader. So I don't really. I suppose sometimes it's kind of like fun to read scary book around Halloween and stuff, but like that's later on. And like if you're just asking rest of the years, like I don't know which books, just any of the unread books. But I did kind of choose one because I decided like I'm not going to stitch all of them because that's too much of a cop out. So I'm gonna go with The Star Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. So I've had this for 1 year now, 2 year, 1 year. So I had yeah, on my bookshelf for a while. And like I've read Roshani Chokshi books, so I know she writes good books. And this is a YA book based around it's a YA Indian mythology book, which I read her middle books, but I haven't read this series. Well, of course, it's on my own shelf. But yeah, I'm curious to read a YA Indian based book. And yeah, I honestly don't really know. I haven't picked this one up yet. I suppose just shiny books. But yeah, maybe I'll read this year. Maybe I will. Before I mean, there's still quite a lot of time this year, so I still have time to do it. And then next prompt is a book you own but haven't read. Again, I mean, I have a lot of unread books, all these books, and also I have books. I have like books that I hide. Well, I have several shelves of unread books. Like I have one over there as well, and yeah. But I ended up going with The Night in Question by Kathleen Gleason and Liz Lawson. This is the second one in the Agatha series. I'm not quite sure if this is a trilogy or whatnot. You know, just going to check it out. If it says like, will they be back? Doesn't say here. I suppose I feel like this could be like a trilogy. It could be a duology. I'm not really sure. But I highly enjoyed the first book. So yeah, I'm thinking that it's not unlikely I'll pick this one up for the end of the year. But like, yeah, it's just the prompt is just showing a book that you own that you haven't read, and I have not read this one, but I kind of want to read it. Well, I want to read all my unread books really, but yeah. So yeah, I also watched, and then the last prompt is a book that you read that you didn't like, and simply that's kind of like a prompt, a book you read you didn't like, so it doesn't say like that was overhyped or whatnot. And first I was like, I don't really know, because like if I don't like a book, majority of the time I'll unhold it, and I'll can also like unhold it from my mind. Like people ask me like a book you didn't like, I'm like, I don't remember. Like I'm good that way. Like if something bad happened, I'm just kind of I release it from my mind. So figuring out like a book that I didn't like is kind of a bit difficult. Though I do have a pseudogram, so I do like write stuff on pseudogram, and like I always like add things that I write on a pseudogram so I can check out what I've read recently. And yeah, lo and behold, I discovered some books that I yeah didn't like very much. For example, I had oh, didn't like very much. Didn't like very much. I suppose a bit of a stretch, but yeah, didn't like. So I did a reread early in the summer of Wake Unto Me by Lisa Catch, or Lisa Cake, say Cach. Is it Catch? Catch? I don't know. This is also kind of interesting because this is a favorite read from my childhood or from my teenhood. Is your childhood years part of your childhood? Teenage years part of your childhood? Maybe. But are you a child when you're teen? Anyway. Yeah. But I did a reread of this one earlier in May, and this time I didn't like it at all, really. I did not really realize what I saw in the book. So that one I have on hold. But yeah, I did read it this year, and I didn't like it. Then I also have the Jane Austen Dating Agency. I listened to that one on audiobook, and I don't really remember much about it, and I can't really remember like what I thought about it, but like just the fact that you don't remember much about it speaks volumes. It means it didn't leave a mark. Like I suppose yeah, it means I didn't hate it, because if you hate a book, you usually remember that as well. I mean, I do as well, even me. Though luckily, rarely pick up books I hate. But yeah, this one, yeah, wasn't all that for me really. And also Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. Honestly, I kind of thought it was overhyped. I didn't like it all that much. And right now, I kind of feel like Christina Lauren for me is a very much hit or miss, because I tried autobiography years ago, didn't like it at all, DNF'd it. And then I read last year The Unhoneymooners, loved it. And then Something Wilder, and then that wasn't that good. So I suppose, yeah, and I feel like it kind of wasn't written well. So I feel like with their books, I feel like it's gonna be kind of very, very coincidental if I like them or not. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna read a lot of their books, but I suppose I could always just DNF them. But yeah, very much a hit or miss for me. So yeah, and that's the tag for today, for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, if you want to answer some of the questions, you can do that. If not, I'll see you soon. Also, this is the last Vita video, so a bit sad. I do know I didn't like do it correctly, because I had a whole week that I didn't really post anything, but I mean I had visitors and like family visiting, so of course I'm gonna prioritize that over a booktube hobby. So yeah. Though yeah, I'm gonna see you soon. And yes, just I suppose that's kind of it for this video. And yeah, bye.